today's society, are certain racial groups more privileged than others? Some may argue that this problem was solved long ago, but has it been? On the news, we often see unfair situations people face simply because they speak a different language or even have a different skin color. When you sign a doctor's form, a survey, or even a job application, how many options come under the question, what race are you? Not many, because according to the United States Census, only 6 racial categories are recognized: white or European American, Black or African American, American Indian, Alaska Native, Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and/or Pacific Islander. Hispanic or Latino are also identified under ethnicity. If you don't see a problem with this, here's what you need to know. There are over 7.5 billion people in this world, and more than half do not belong in any one of these categories. So why is our country only recognizing 6 racial groups? Also, what about the people who belong to more than one category? Good afternoon. I am here to talk about the importance of embracing diverse groups of people, and not just the ones who are more privileged or common in our country. What race comes to mind when you look at me? I asked 50 of my fellow peers that I usually do not talk to this same question. 39 people thought I was Mexican, 10 thought I was Black, and 5 thought I was white. While I was asking people this question, I noticed most people chose only one race, and everyone chose a common race. Some were surprised to know that I am Mexican and Black. I am multiracial, but that is what makes me, me. It's what differs me from others. I shouldn't be accepted just because my races are more well-known than others. We should accept every single racial category. There are many people in this country who do not belong in the dominant race categories recognized by the U.S. Census. For instance, there are people of Filipino, Middle Eastern, Jewish, Samoan, and so many more. But are any of these listed when you're answering a question about race? While there are an abundant amount of races in the U.S., some states have a dominant racial group. This can vary greatly by location in the country. According to datausa.io, in Chula Vista, Texas, and New Mexico, the common ethnic group is Hispanic. In other states like Florida, West Virginia, and Montana, most people are Caucasian. States including Maryland and Michigan have higher percentages of African Americans, while 90.3% of Iowa is Caucasian. So let me ask you something. If I went to a state with less diversity, would I be welcomed? Perhaps I may be stared at. There may be assumptions and stereotypes that are placed in people's mind about a person of color. These stereotypes and assumptions block people from actually learning about somebody. We need to value our differences and not be afraid nor biased when we meet new people who don't look like us. Diversity should be celebrated across our country. To conclude my speech, I would like to offer a challenge that can one day possibly increase acceptance of all types of people. Start with something small, like meeting a new friend of a different race and learning about their background. We should all be open to learning a new language so we could communicate with each other and listen to each other's stories. Want a bigger challenge? Go right to a new friend's home and enjoy the food they eat for dinner. Well, because I know we all love a good meal. Maybe you could take a trip and learn about places around the world, because life is too short just to stay within your community. Small gestures like this can be a start to a bigger and better change. And don't be afraid to share your story, because everyone has a gift to share, and it should be embraced and celebrated. And let's remember, in our upcoming census in 2020, that our diversity is accurately represented. I hope you learned more about the diversity of different races and how we should embrace every single one of them. Remember, we need to see the world differently, starting with accepting the differences between all of us. Thank you.